DLC.
The other thing that we don't have in common, and my game of show from Summer Game Fest, is the Alan Wake Night City DLC was announced and released that same day. There is 3 chapters, and they're very short. I think the longest one took me just over an hour. So it's like 3 to 5 hours of gameplay, depending on how you engage in the world. It reuses locations and assets from Alan Wake 2, but my goodness, are they fun. It really leans into quirky, and Alan Wake 2 is already kind of weird, but this really even furthers that. Night Springs within the universe, very tiny spoiler, I think it was in the announcement. It is a TV show in that world, kind of like a Twilight Zone TV show, and the conceit of this DLC is that you are playing episodes of that TV show, but everything in this universe now is so meta that, you know, it's like written by the TV show episodes are written by Alan Wake within the world, within the title card that you see of the thing, but it's also referencing things that happen in the game that are supposed to be real life. And so there's no way that that's actually a TV show that exists in the world that talks about the world that reference. It's like it's all just collapsing in on itself like a black hole, but really, really fun and really interesting. And I love the way that they're getting even quirkier and weird with it. Each chapter you play as a different main character. I won't even say the characters for people who want to go in cold. The third one was by far my favorite. The last chapter, it does the thing that Remedy games do, I think, so beautifully, whether it's the ashtray maze in Control or the big musical moment in Alan Wake 2. It just continues to surprise and change itself as you go through it, and to see that level of creativity in these small kind of bite-sized moments, absolutely, absolutely incredible. I don't think this will convert folks like, oh, I'm going to buy Alan Wake 2 to now play these expansions. It's not for you. I am an Alan Wake sicko, to jump on the sicko bandwagon, and it is for me. It is for people like me that can't get enough of it. The only issue I had with it is when I first played the first chapter, you're doing a very pedestrian thing, is like your objective. And I'm doing it, and then the screen cut to black, and then it came up again, and I was at a different location. Yeah. And it kept telling me to do the same thing, but I literally couldn't because I was no longer at that place. And it ended up being a very big game-breaking bug.
But the game is so meta, you're like, maybe this is part of it.
Yes, and I got to a point. I get to a point where you have a couple of dialogue choices, and I'm talking to this character, and it says like, "You can't stop me," and your choices are like, "I'll stop you." I think it's like with love or with my shotgun, and I'm carrying a coffee pot. And I say, I'm going to stop you with my shotgun. And my character takes a coffee pot and moves it up and down as it's like the cocking animation. Again, is totally glitched, but in the world it works. So I take this coffee pot up and it goes, and it cocks. And the other character goes, oh, that is a shotgun. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. This is so meta and folding in on itself in all the coolest ways. And it turned out, no, the game just glitched me. I didn't have a shotgun. I couldn't get past this part. I had to do a hard reset and reset all my progress. But in the moment, I was like, this is going deep.
That's good game design, when your bugs seem like features.
That's the problem with that style of game, when you're like, it's like Eternal Darkness, right? If that game did actually crash on you, beautiful. You can't finish it. Genius game design. But I love it.
If your bugs seem like features, you might be an Alan Wake game.
You might be a Remedy Entertainment Sam Lake joint.
A lot of Jeff Foxworthy on the show tonight.
Highly recommended. If you loved Alan Wake 2, it's a quick, sit down afternoon snack to get through all 3, and each one gets better and better.
Very cool. Night Springs. Cool drop during the show. Neat to have them even do that.
Yeah. You can get the full audio version of this show by subscribing to the RSS feed, which you can find at dlcpod.com. And you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/dlcpod, where you will get ad-free versions of the show. video versions of the show on demand, and a whole bunch of extra content, like Wednesday's show, paid DLC, including spoiler chats, so much more. That's patreon.com/DLCpod.